Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? This is Immigration Attorney Moumita. I'm coming to you live from New York. I'm here to talk about immigration, and it is my pleasure to do so. For those of you who are joining me today, thank you for joining. I hope you have some questions. Please message me here, and I will do my best to answer your questions about immigration as much as I can. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, I am live streaming to 4 different platforms. I am on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you're not following me on any of these platforms, go ahead and give me a follow. I've got lots of amazing videos on YouTube where I'm hoping to educate you and give you information that you might need for your life right now. So let's get right into it. If you have a question about immigration, drop them in the comment box. Say hello, let me know where you're from, what country you're from, and where you are living. As we know, we're immigrants and we come from all over the world. I myself was originally born in Bangladesh and I came to the US when I was 5. I love practicing immigration law because to me, it is a human right. Immigration is a human right. To be able to stay with your family is a human right. And I love to be able to do what I can. Of course, US immigration law is really tough. It is very difficult and complicated and complex, and not everything is possible. But where things are possible, I do my best. Me and my team, we do our best to help our clients get green cards, get work permits, and stay out of removal and not get deported, okay? So let's talk about immigration. One of the most frequently asked questions that I have, and I would like to actually dedicate this video to one of my consultations that I had today. You know who you are. I told you that I would dedicate this video to you. If you are in a marriage with a US citizen and you have not had your green card application filed for, why is the reason for that? Are you suffering anything in your relationship? Are you in any sort of discomfort or fear over what is happening to you or what will happen to you if you leave? Is your spouse trying to control you in various ways? Now, here's the thing. Many people believe that because they have never gone to the police about what their spouse is doing to them, or because they don't have any evidence of any physical abuse, that they don't count. But this is simply not true. If you're married to a US citizen or to a green card holder and you are going through many negative things in your relationship to the point where you are worried about your safety, to the point of where you're worried about getting deported, it is time to talk to a lawyer, because you may have the option of filing for a green card on your own. So especially for my viewers out there who have not yet filed for a green card, yet they've been married to a citizen or to a resident for years and wondering what is going to happen to their status, now's the time to call to see what your options are. Because there are special cases available that you may qualify for that may allow you to file for the green card and for a work permit without your spouse's help. And what about those of you who are not married to a green card holder or not married to a citizen? For you, we have to look to see if you qualify for anything else. And for this, if you do have any police reports, if you have been the victim of any domestic violence abuse by your spouse, then that's where we may be able to help you. And if not, then I'll check to see anything else that I can do for you and at least help you understand what to look out for the future in case your situation changes and you might be able to qualify for something on your own, okay? So again, the word of the day is if you are in a marriage to a US citizen or to a resident and you have had your application delayed, or even it's been filed and your spouse is saying, I'm gonna pull it, or we're gonna get divorced, and then you're gonna get deported, you'll see what happens to you if you leave me, it's time to talk to a lawyer. You may have rights, and for those of you, especially with children, who are in a marriage to someone and you see your child getting affected by the behavior of your US citizen husband or wife, it is definitely time to talk to a lawyer, okay? Because you don't want your kids to get affected. All right, so let's go ahead and answer some questions. And thank you for sharing the videos. If you're watching me on TikTok or Instagram, I would appreciate you sharing my videos so that others can see this. Diva9 is asking, hi, can you have English to Gujarati interpreter? It's very difficult, but I may be able to do that. Okay. So what are the documents you need to get your 10-year green card? From Vivi LLC. So if you're applying for a 10-year green card, it depends. Are you filing for a green card based upon your marriage? You need to have as much evidence of your relationship as possible. And what USCIS likes to see, they like to see joint finances, joint residential information, joint assets. This is their primary type of evidence. They want to see the accounts, they want to see insurances, they want to see joint tax returns. For those of you who are not filing joint tax returns and you're filing for a green card, you really need to take a look and make sure you file your joint return if you can. Now you can get an ITIN number, or if you have filed for the work permit and you've received your Social Security card already, file that joint tax return. It is one of the #1 pieces of proof that you should have to prove a good faith marriage. Okay, Taran's asking, can you talk about the recent policy update on expediting a case? I will go ahead and talk about that. I'll make another video about that, Taran, because I don't have that off the top of my head. Navjara is asking, I got married last month and my wife is refusing to apply for my green card. What can I do? All right, if you're married to a citizen, right, and you have asked your spouse to help you because you know that you're undocumented, you know you need to have stability and security here in the US and live together, and to be able to live together, you can't live underneath the fear of getting deported, and your spouse is saying, no, I'm not gonna help you, it's time to give me a call, 212-248-7907. Okay. Sathi Rahman is asking, how long will it take if I apply for my sister's immigration process? I'm a green card holder and my sister is underneath asylum application with my parents in the USA. Okay, if you are not a US citizen, you cannot apply for your siblings. You need to first become naturalized in order to apply for your siblings. And once you're a US citizen, the application that you submit for your brother or sister will take roughly 10 to 15 years, depending on what country they're from. So it takes a very, very long time. Okay. Carmen Carballo is asking, what is the reason the removal of conditions takes so long? Okay, good question, Carmen. So one of the reasons why, I really don't know why. I think the reason why it takes so long is because it is a, USCIS is just busy. They're just busy and they don't have to give you an interview and they probably don't have enough staff members. But that's exactly why when you file your removal of conditions application, they automatically grant you an 18-month extension of your status because they already know that it's going to take them a very long time. Why it's taking so long? I think one of the reasons might be because your case gets looked at individually, and if you're submitting a lot of documentation, the officer might be taking some time to go through it. That's the only thing that I can think about. Other than that, almost everything with immigration takes so long. Majority of applications are taking, it can take anywhere from 1 to 3 years to process. If you're inside the US, if you're outside the US, you might wait even longer for an interview at your consulate, okay? If you're married for 2 years with the spouse who's a US citizen and you got divorced, can you apply for a passport if you're 5 years in the US? Good question from Arbeen. Okay, so for my followers out there, for my viewers who have a 2-year green card, if you got your green card through marriage and you were only given a 2-year green card because you were married for less than 2 years and you get divorced during this process when you have the 2-year green card, well, you need to file for a waiver. And I would be very, very happy to take a look at your case. I have filed many complex and complicated waivers for persons whose marriages have fallen apart. And there are actually several different waivers available. So it's very important to make sure you file with the appropriate waiver. But once you file your waiver, you need to make sure that you then become eligible to naturalize. Only then, once you become a US citizen, can you go ahead and file for that passport. Now, once you file for that removal of conditions, normally you need to wait at least 3 years if you're still married to that US citizen. If you're no longer married to your US citizen spouse, then you have to wait for 5 years unless you have filed for the waiver for extreme cruelty and battery. And this is one of the primary cases that I deal with. I have helped so many people, me and my team have helped so many people who have been married to US citizens. They got their 2-year green card, and during the course of this marriage, the relationship has taken a very bad turn, meaning that the 2-year resident has been mistreated, has been suffering in many different ways, suffering emotionally, being hurt physically, being controlled in many different ways. And my goal is to be able to help you be free of that abusive relationship so that you can have a life of your own. If you get this waiver approved, you can file for citizenship with only 3 years of residency, okay? So give us a call if you need help, 212-248-7907. Hi, Maria. Okay, let's see what else I have. I have a question from Danny Johnson who's asking, hi, I'm from India. I've been in America for almost 3 years. What is my best chance of getting a work permit, asylum, or any other way? For those of you who have been in the US for many years and you're wondering, how can I get a work permit? I'm not married to anyone. I don't have any US citizen relatives. I have nothing else going. I'm out of status. Can I file for asylum and get a work permit? Well, here's the thing. You should only file for asylum if you are actually afraid of going back to your home country. If you do not have a valid reason for filing for asylum, then that would be considered a frivolous case. And this is the thing, asylum cases, when you file affirmatively, if it's not approved, then you actually get sent to court. Many people do not understand that if you file for asylum and you're out of status and your case does not get approved, that means that they are actually obligated by law to send your case to immigration court for deportation proceedings. So to get a work permit, do you really want to file an asylum that is not a legitimate case and have the risk of it getting putting you in deportation? I don't think that's a really good chance. However, Danny, if you are afraid to go back to your home country, anyone here who is out of status, who's afraid to go back to their home country for reasons of being afraid of being harmed by the government because of their religion, their ethnicity, their backgrounds, their family status. There are many different reasons upon which you can file for asylum and seek the protection of the United States government if you're already here. Keep in mind, you must file for asylum within 1 year of entering the US. So if you've already been in the US for many years and now you're like, okay, shall I file for asylum now? Well, you need to have a good reason to show why you did not file within that 1 year deadline of entering the US. If it's past the 1 year deadline, you can still submit. However, you must prove that your circumstances change or there is a new reason that has come up that requires you to file for asylum and seek the protection of the United States government right now, okay? If you want me to take a look at your case, Danny, give us a call, 212-248-7907. Asylum is something that I basically started my immigration career doing by doing asylum, and I still continue to do it this day. I do asylum both in court and also outside of court affirmatively, okay? All right. So Jay Lopez is asking, how can an immigrant obtain a work permit if they enter without inspection? Very good question, Jay Lopez. So if you're an immigrant and you entered without inspection, here's the thing that I look at. I look to see if you qualify for any humanitarian case types, because the majority of cases for people who don't enter with inspection it's just not easy. If you don't have a legal entry into the US, if you were never inspected by an immigration officer at the border or at the port of entry where you came through, then that means that your options are going to be very different. So for example, if a person enters with a visit visa and they're married to a US citizen, it's a little bit more easier for them. But let's say you don't have that entry with inspection, then I look to see for every single person whether they qualify for such things as all of the humanitarian case types, whether they qualify for things such as Section 245I. In fact, today I had a great appointment with somebody who is eligible for 245I. Now, if you don't know what Section 245I adjustment of status is, this is it. It means that you have had a relative or an employer file an application for you or a labor certification for you prior to April 30th, 2000. This is the magic date. You need to have had this filed before April 30th, 2000. And if something was filed, then that may actually help you do adjustment of status in a different sort of way without having to leave the US. But to answer your question, Jay Lopez, you can, there's a lot of different case types such as T visas, U visas, VAWA, Section 245I, military parole in place, deferred action, TPS. A lot of these case types do not require a legal entry into the US, and people may be able to get work permits through these cases, okay? All right. Let's see what else I have. And thank you to all of my viewers, and thank you for your patience. Golden Gate is asking, hello, attorney. How can an illegal immigrant working here for the last 8 years first get legal and then get his family here. Thank you very much. Golden Gate. I would say give us a call so I could walk you through to see if you qualify for any of these humanitarian cases that I just talked about. There are a multiple of cases, and the thing that needs to be done is every person who does not qualify for the easy way of getting a green card, we have to look at these other types of cases where it's a little bit more complicated, it requires a little bit more digging. Give us a call, 212-248-7907. Okay. All right, and somebody's asking, how can I do a consultation with you? You can give us a call, 212-248-7907 to make an appointment. I have a consultation fee. My fee is $150. With this, you get a half-hour video or phone consultation where I will go through your options to see what you're eligible for and hopefully find a solution for you. I may not always be able to find a solution, but at least I will let you know what I think and what I think is not possible. And that is actually valuable so that you don't get taken advantage of by anyone else. All right. With that, thank you so much. I have to go. I hope all of you have a wonderful evening.